You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others scroll, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake. Na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho. Ngai no mwega. Naende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani. Ngwe.
Tinyiswa nyawangaya. Nanja siasa moko ni gutugo. Aseneno siasa mupo gregi siasa moseneno. Ano kalonsi wale ni ngato. Masaduto oloso mane nyinga. Mine nani. Ano kinin koda mani ndogi ngato. Koza wajo malali. Moko wajo norengo ti. Sani koda karo sani abed. Tokone nunati obio temo ne umachi. Kora kobro neno. Kadongo oye. Kasipulo oye.
Okay, great. Looking at Sauti Kosawa. Kosawa. All right. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Rutegero, and this is Political Headache coming to you at exactly 7:30 in the evening. Wale wenye wanasemanga ya kwamba mimi naanzanga late, you have been very unhappy for the last 1 week because I've been starting right on the dot. People of the internet, there are a lot of things that are happening. We already have 80. All right. I'm hearing myself now. There's so many things happening, people of the internet, today. We are going to be talking about them. And first of all, allow me to welcome people that have come in. First today, Mr. Musyoki saying that he's the one that is first today. Lois Baraza is saying Tuesday. Lois Baraza, I want to figure out if you have actually listened to the video that we have played, the video of James Aggrey Orengo. I don't know whether it is fine. But we are going to be talking about it today, and I'm going to be, translating exactly what he has said. Okay? So, Snowflake is saying listening to Odhiambo yesterday was proof that money turns even wise minds. That is Snowflake saying that Odhiambo has been bought by the government. I don't know whether Odhiambo is going to be here today. Okay. My crew, I don't know what is going on there. Is everything okay? Everything is okay. All right. That is great. I was talking to Lois Baraza, and Lois Baraza is actually saying that Orengo, our ears here. I was telling this guy not to pass in front of the camera, and he's just passing in front of the camera. Don't pass in front of the camera, please. All right. Kevin Owaga is saying, let's click on the like button, people of the internet. People of the internet, please click on the like button so that a lot of people can join this. Emmanuel Orono is saying, locked in from Eldoret. Tuna ngojea mkuje our town hall, Jagero. Wewe utatupatia hall. Sisi tunataka hall. If you can give us a hall, we will come with snacks and our microphone. Thank you very much. All right, Kakamega, Tune, Jagero, you are clear, Bwana. Okay, thank you very much. Camera is on top today. I hope we can have more conversation, discussion today. Yesterday, my head hurt. Why was your head hurting yesterday, by the way? I don't understand why your head was hurting yesterday. Okay, so those are the people that we are having. We're already having a lot of people joining today. I want us to play that video for Orengo again, so that I can get the words, so that I can translate them to the people of the internet. Can we play that video for Orengo again? Give us a little bit of sauti tena.
Aseneno siasa mupogre gi siasa moseneno. Ano kalon suare ni ngato. Masaduto oloso mane nyinga. An minenani. Ano knin koda an manindo gi ngato. Kosa wacho malal. Moko wacho norengo ti. Sani koda karo sani abed. Tokone nunati obio temo ne umach. Koda kobro neno. Kadongo oye. Kasipulo oye.
Right. Kevin Owaga is saying, hello, people of the internet watching from Doha, Qatar, Jambu, Wood County, Jagero. Thank you very much. So I want to try as much as possible to try and interpret what Orengo Nyating was saying where he was. He was at a place, I think he was in Luoland, next to a place where the Ambo coming from. He's saying verbatim that, okay, that he's saying that Nyasona, he refers to Nyasona, and Nyasona is basically, everybody in Luoland, when you talk about Nyasona, you'd be referring to the governor of Homa Bay, Gladys Nyasona Wanga. So what he's saying is, first of all, starts by complaining that Nyasona, who is Gladys, is always talking about him. Ananitaja majina. That is what he's saying. And then he goes personal, very, very personal, and says that for him, he doesn't take out his panties for everyone, for anyone. All right. So the reference that he's making here, and we are going to be listening to the MCAs, is that he is actually accusing Nyasona of sleeping her way to the top. That's essentially what he's saying. He's also saying that he is still a man, and if Nyasona wants to try him, then his staff is still very sharp. So that's what he's saying in a nutshell. And if you asked me, I think it is a very interesting thing, and my guest, who is Sheila Olang, will be coming here sometime shortly to join us. And as a woman, I wanted to ask her about what is going on there. So there is an issue of women being said that, okay, if you are doing very well, then... So Orengo essentially is accusing Nyasona that where Nyasona has reached, being the governor of Abai, being the women rep of Abai, she has been sleeping with the men to get those favors, to sleeping with ODM people to get an ODM ticket, and so on and so forth. So that is what is going on right now. But allow me, people of the internet, right now to welcome my guest, Mr. Omasete. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jagero.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. Super excited to be here for the first time.
Okay.
Let's discuss political headache and see if we can provide some brufen to cure the headache.
All right.
Yes.
So the question I want to ask you, my brother, and I also have Vash. Before I go to you, let me actually talk to Vash. Vash, do you consider... Well, I don't want to ask her that question. I wanted to ask her if she considers herself a woman. But probably she will say that she's a girl or whatever. But do you consider yourself a woman?
Yeah, I'm a woman.
Very good. So now the question I want to ask you is that what do you think about what Orengo said about Gladys Wanga?
I think it's very unfortunate for someone of a stature like Orengo to speak like that in public. And he's promoting very harmful and serious stereotypes against women, especially at a time where people are complaining about femicide. And during this time, people are always accusing women of sleeping their way to the top, which is very harmful and not true. There is no evidence that shows that Gladys Wanga actually slept her way to the top. There is no evidence. And Orengo should be ashamed of himself. He should be very ashamed. And should not, in fact, he should apologize. And I've heard what Waksema apologize, but he has refused to apologize. It is very bad.
Why do you think he's refusing to apologize? Do you think that Orengo knows what we don't know?
No, Orengo does not know what we don't know. He is just being a man of kiburi.
A man of kiburi. Do you think he's being sexist? What is going on there?
Yeah, he's being sexist. That is something that a lot of women are accused of. Even Samia Suluhu sometimes back was accused of the same things. All women, after Hillary Clinton, was accused of the same things. So it is something that women are always accused of, and it's not good at all.
Mr. Waseti, what do you think? What do you think about this issue? What do you think about Orengo?
I think it's quite unfortunate for a statesman like Orengo, having served for a very long time, since in the 80s up to today, he's still serving politically. He's a perennial litigant, a very well-informed lawyer, and using such kind of, vulgar words to discriminate the other gender is quite unfortunate, because I remember some time ago, you hosted the brother to Nyasuna, and he elaborately explained how Gladys Wanga campaigned, how he traversed different regions of Homa Bay, until she was able to become the women rep and served for some time, and then ascended later on to the office of the governor. So it is quite unfortunate to see such kind of a leader like Orengo of this stature using such words against ladies. And maybe, is it the reason, maybe to ask you, is it the reason why the Two-Third Gender Bill has not been passed yet, given the fact that it was introduced a long time ago, and up to now, that has not yet come to suffice?
Which Two-Third Gender do you refer to?
The one for Parliament. Yes.
Explain a little bit more about it.
You go back to the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution and ask yourself, why was the woman rep seat, put into place? It's because of such kind of derogatory statements whereby women are vilified and, put into circumstances that, try to lower them or disadvantage them. So at least to have a woman rep seat tries to cure that, not fully, but tries to somehow have women in leadership. So having a certain
without quote unquote sleeping their way to the top. Do you think that it is because of these accusations that this kind of provisions were provided for in the Constitution?
Yes, based on my analysis, I will tend to agree with so. Because that is the reason why those who are, promulgating the 2020 Constitution saw it right to have ladies to contest, have a special seat that they can contest under, and, get into the leadership of this country. Yes.
Okay. Somebody is saying, I want to read the comment. Kotuga is saying we are a duel. Owino is saying Musingo Gigi is here watching from Gaborone, Botswana. Hi Jagero and the rest. I like your podcast, brother. Thank you very much. DJ Willie is watching from Westminster, UK. It is time for the citizens to understand the time for politics and real development talk. Okay. Nuru is saying that Orengo went too low for a man of his caliber. Too unfortunate, he is failing in wisdom at his sunset years. Okay? Wairimo Kahia is saying, I have become addicted to this channel. Love from Nanyuki. Thank you very much for your addiction. Right? Kevin Wanga is saying, thank you for inviting Sheila Lang. Sheila Lang is on her way. I imagine that she's stuck on traffic. We will be calling her shortly to find out whether she's on her way or wherever she is at. We will know shortly. Okay, somebody is saying Willis na usiache tina ukipata makaratasi. I don't know. I think they are talking amongst themselves right now. Lois Baraza is saying that Nyasuna needs to behave too. Amekuwa too much. Orengo is not her caliber. I'm not sure, Lois. What is it that Nyasuna has been talking about, Orengo, that is making you say that Nyasuna has been too much? But also, as a woman, I would like to understand from you, assuming that you're one, do you think that this is the way we should be talking politician to politician, inviting Nyasuna to bed? to sleep with him? Is that a way of how our politics should go? I don't think so. I think that we can always, because Nyasuna is somebody who has got children, Nyasuna is somebody who has got a husband, Nyasuna is somebody that has got brothers. We had the brother the other day, and I think it is just out of character that I want to welcome our guest. Sheila is here. Sheila is here. How are you? No worries. Your chair is there. I think.
Nice and rainy.
I think they already showed your empty seat.
Okay.
Yes.
It's filled now.
Yeah. So thank you very much. We'll allow you to gasp for air. I don't know. You can get her some water. We are talking about something that I know that you're very conversant with. The issue of Orengo and Gladys Nyasuna. I will be asking you about that later. Godfrey is saying, I'm an ardent follower of your podcast. I'm watching from the coast. Thank you very much. Gachora is saying, let's stop this femicide nonsense, referring to what Orengo said of Nyasuna Wanga. Jagero, I sent a message to you for you to call Ifikie Joachim. Thank you very much. Joachim is today not in the studio. I believe that he's taking care of Safina Party. Okay. Silver is saying, Sylvester, Jagero, Wanga started the abuse, but I'm not sure. Well, Wanga might have started the abuse, but I'm not sure if Wanga invited Orengo to her bed, because Orengo is inviting Nyasuna to his bed. I don't think that happened. So I don't know. I don't understand whether that is true. So I want to go straight to you as a woman, right?
Right.
And I think you're going to be vying for politics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. We can allow them to give you water.
Sure. Thank you very much.
As a woman that is vying,
right,
for a political position, what do you think about? Because in a few years you'll be the governor of Migori, and we will be hearing people saying that, look, crazy stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this? Sorry, people of the internet. There was a bit of getting in and out because of our guest that is coming in and trying to make things work for them. So they are seeing a lot of movement on the screen.
Okay.
Sorry for that. Yeah.
No, I think it is unfortunate that we are living at a time when femicide in this country is on. It's on the rampage, right? It's going higher and higher and higher, and when we talk about the triple threat and femicide, a lot of it is also normalizing this kind of conversations or these lines of thought. Now, allow me to also start by saying, you alluded to the fact that I am running for office. I'm running for Women Representative of Migori County. And it might shock you to know that some of those comments that I have had have actually come from women.
Okay.
Leader. Have been the one, she's been the one who has degraded me and abused me more than anybody else. So I'm
a specific woman?
The incumbent in this case. If you know, anyone in Migori knows that I'm called Othemble, right? So I'm a Luo. So
yeah, you say
my name is Othemble.
Othemble.
And a lot of people always ask me, well, where did you get the name Othemble?
Yeah.
I love the name. I think it describes me. It describes me quite well. I'm the underdog. So Othemble in Luo means something that is inconsequential.
Lightweight.
A lightweight.
Feather.
Nonsense.
Okay.
None of all of that stuff. And politics is weird because you have to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, people will get into your head or try to teach you who you are. I got this name from the incumbent because, and it had been going on, it had been a rhetoric. And by the way, I'm not the only one. I'm not special in this instant, unfortunately. If you come from Migori, you know that the incumbent, for example, Women Rep, is on the record, and this is why I can talk about this publicly, as being very vulgar in terms of, with the other male politicians. I think just about every MP except two in our county, publicly on the record, including the wife of the former governor of Migori County, right? And so I'm starting this off by saying, it is easy to point the finger at Governor Orengo, because what he said as a woman, well, that is not okay. We have to stop this. Now, as women, equally, we have to also lead the way and lead this conversation and show. I have to be able to stand in front of you and be able to call this out And then you cannot point back at me and say, Sheila, the other day you also picked this woman and you degraded her in this way and that way.
Okay.
If you remember, there was a report about some female MPs. I think it was highlighted, I think they were from Homa Bay in this case, who are very vulgar in different ways. Unfortunately, it's always about women. Even when it's perpetuated by women, it's sometimes also just still degrading fellow women. So it's not fair. I don't like it. But the way the society works today is women are scrutinized even more. Unfairly, but even more. The standards are not the same for men and women. So if as women we lead with this kind of vulgarity or abuses, or if we don't react by saying, I don't agree with this, right? Because there's been instances where we have seen Governor Orengo being completely degraded, right? Completely degraded. And you can see that the atmosphere was of laughter. Right? We have a problem with the boy child now. I mean, I don't know if you're seeing this. We also have a problem with the boy child.
Yeah.
We're getting to the point where we need to have a sober conversation. So we can't.
What is wrong with the boy child?
We have a problem with the boy child, right? We also have to start looking out for our boy children. We are raising very strong women, and unfortunately, we won't have men who can live with us.
Good husbands, eh?
We are not going to have them. We'll be very strong, independent, good women who are studied, and then we will not have partners because we are leaving them behind. We have to coexist, you know? I'm a feminist. The kind of feminism I subscribe to says that we need to coexist. We pull each other up. Nobody needs to be stepped on to move up, for the other person to move up. We are pulling this up together. That's the doctrine of feminism that I subscribe to. And therefore I say it is not fair. But as women, we have to lead the way. We have to be the ones who call out things when we call out things. I like Millie Mabona. Millie Mabona will call, whether it's her friend or her enemy, she will quickly tell you, you are my friend, but you've crossed the line. We cannot accept this. And then she'll say, Governor Orengo, we cannot accept this. Then she'll turn around and say, please stop allowing people to degrade, Governor Wanga or whoever it is. She will always call it out. And I think that is what we need to look into. Because unfortunately, it's not working anymore to just pull off the gender card or pull off the whatever card. I think people are now getting to the point where they're like, you give, whatever you're dishing, you have to be able to take it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. The degradation of Orengo, where has it been happening? I don't know.
I think if you saw, it wasn't by Governor Wanga that I know of, right? I think if you remember, there was a rally where I think he's from Siaya County, who stood up and bundled up. I think it was Orengo, it was Babu Owino, and it was Sifuna, and talked about, it was in Luo, right? I don't know if you remember this guy who's always quite comical and...
Yes. It was.
Do you remember that?
The guy that was gyrating and saying, oh, I remember.
Yes, you remember that. And then we found it funny. And then now there's even another idea, just didn't send it to you, Jagiro, but there's even another clip, of someone else coming up and she's talking about it. She's saying, she's describing these sexual things herself, right? So again, we have to have it both ways. We cannot accept what Governor Orengo is doing, but we also cannot accept what, some of these female leaders have been doing. We need to stop this because unfortunately people are dying, right? We have femicides going on. We have our men or our boys who are not able to, to know how to navigate certain emotional frustrations that they have because we assume they're supposed to be tough as stone and then you can abuse them, but then they can take it and then we can't take it. And that's not how the world works today anymore, unfortunately.
And Jagiro, it is quite unfortunate that the trend that tends to happen here in Kenya is that any female leader seeking for an elective post, that people will not want to listen to the ideas the lady is sharing, but it boils down, the lady is dressed down to, is she beautiful? How does she look? The figure she has. Is it, can it make people, lure people to vote for her or not?
That's true, but sometimes it's the ladies themselves who do not have an agenda. They come with the agenda saying, look at me, I'm beautiful. I'm telling you. Some of them say, some of them come and say, oh, don't worry, you see, am I not beautiful? Now when I come out of here, I'm going to get a husband when I go home. And that is the agenda. So when you set the tone like that, why do you think you're not going to be sexualized in the end? If the only agenda you showed up to the table was the fact that, look at me, I can, get a husband when I leave out of here. So that is our case.
In other words, she's saying that the female leaders who are incumbent, who are serving right now, that they should set a very good trajectory whereby, since they are now in office, they should set a trajectory whereby they are very respectable, their demeanor, how they carry themselves, so that whatever they portray outside to the other people, that this is our view as women, and this is the way we are going, and this is how we should be addressed as women in this country.
Right.
Yes.
There is an issue. Orengo's case has created a lot of fracas and problems, and I think the people that wanted to impeach him before have gotten a very good reason now to impeach him. I want us to listen to that. MCA is saying that they will, the women leaders who want to the governor to apologize. I don't know if you have that video. And then there is also MCAs that say that they're going to impeach Orengo. Yeah.
We want to say that what we had, the governor of Siaya saying about our governor, we are not happy about it. We are not happy about it. We want to condemn it with the strongest terms possible. We are requesting him to give respect to our governor, give respect to our party leader. They didn't impose themselves to be leaders. We chose them to be our leaders.
I am really disappointed as a woman, and I am calling upon all the women. Actually, we will even call upon every woman worldwide, because it is very disrespectful for someone by the name Orengo, who is our governor, to come and insult our governor Gladys Atieno Nyasuna Wanga. She's not only our governor, but she's the chair of the Orange Democratic Movement.
To take actions, disciplinary actions, on a member or members who's defied the party and who's been going around insulting our able chair of ODM party, Mama Gladys Wanga. On the same note, I want to request here that to be in solidarity with our able chair, Gladys Wanga, we are not attending any function as the executive.
Yes.
Until our governor comes back and put an apology to the party chair of ODM, Mama Gladys Wanga.
To whip you, to impeach.
Yeah. So, do you think that we should impeach the MCS in Omo Bay?
You mean impeach Orengo?
Yeah. Should he be impeached for what he did? What happens?
There's a commission called National Commission for, I think, Cohesion Integration.
Yes.
I tend to ask myself, what is really their work? Because this is not the first time women leaders have been insulted here in Kenya. Okay. There have been several cases before. And when I try to take a look at what happened before, since such kind of, words tend to attract the attention of NCIC, then I'll want to ask myself, for the past cases, what has NCIC done to the culprits, just besides summoning them to appear in front of them for the cameras and say, I've apologized? So after saying, I'm sorry, what happens next? So about impeaching the governor, I think based on the trajectory, the history of what has happened in the recent past, it won't be a very convincing point to majority of people, for example, in Siaya, or even the Senate if it reaches the Senate chambers. But the thing is, it has deflated the continuous momentum of Linda Mwananchi, keeping in mind that Orengo is a very senior leader in Linda Mwananchi, and him having said such kind of words, it will kind of derail the progress that Linda Mwananchi has made as a movement in Kenya.
All right. Sheila, do you think so? Do you think that this muddies the waters for Linda Mwananchi?
I mean, I think there has to be a consequence for not being respectful towards a woman leader. I agree with that. Again, unfortunately, it's this back and forth. You know what? I want to point forward, but then there's a finger pointing right back, right? Okay. So, of course, as leaders of a movement, especially a movement that is capturing the young people of this country, it's important to set the correct tone and not to have a tone that is being anti-women or anti-women leadership. But we call the House to order. I'm very cautious to say we call the House to order. I think it is wrong, regardless of who's doing it, at what point and at what time. I think it's one of those things where, the Bible says, "Hakuna dhambi ndogo." Like, let's just normalize not doing this across the board. That's the way I look at it. Because if you look at those people also who are talking about Orengo on the other side, they have receipts. They'll pull out receipts for you about how, the same women leaders have been talking vulgarity, the exact same one, sometimes even the victims themselves. So, when you set the tone of this is how you address me, and then when I address you that way, then all of a sudden it becomes a problem. I think we need to go back to a politics that is respectful, regardless whether it was.
But then again, what do you think about our politics generally? Because it is just this is the kind of politics that we are having. Because even if you look at Sifuna, I mean, the things that Sifuna has said about a very old man, a very senior person, Mr. Oburu Odinga, I don't think they're very nice words. The other day, every time Gachagua is talking about Ruto, he's talking about his ears, he's talking about his head. Every time that Ruto is talking about Kalonzo, he's talking about a useless person that has not done anything for the last 50 years. It is just Kenyan politics that the people have to attack each other personally.
Yeah.
So, and you're getting into that politics.
Yes.
And I think that you have got a very good demeanor whenever I look at you and hear you speak.
Right.
I mean, you are not sharp for our politics. You're not
aggressive.
You're not aggressive for our politics.
I'm very. Don't look at me as a template like this. I know my place. I know
but anyway, you understand my point.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I've had even my own family members who are worried about it, and they're like, "Oh, but you present such a different demeanor." And I always remind them, we've had women who have led before who have never had to talk about their private parts.
Yeah.
I don't know where Phoebe Asiu stood somewhere and then talked about her private parts or whatever. I don't know where Wangari Maathai had to talk about, over-sexualization in order to win a Nobel Peace Prize, and she's the only one who did it. So part of me also joining politics is not just to join the way, it's also to set my own way. It's at every given juncture, you have the ability to craft your own way. And trust me, the reason you even know that I exist, I have done it just by being this.
Yeah, exactly.
By being able to offer something else and not just showing up and saying,
by the way, a lot of people have cried in this show that you need to get Sheila Lang here. Why is it taking you so long, Jagero?
But I can tell you, when they say that, it's not because I'm vulgar. It's not because I'm coming and I'm sexualizing women in politics. I'm sure when they tell you that, it is because of other reasons. It's because I'm an economist. It's because, I have this demeanor. So like I said before, you don't have to just join the wheel of the hamster because you're seeing the hamster going round and round and round. There are people who actually like this kind of politics, the politics where we offer issues and we talk about substances. And people are tired of those rhetorics, by the way. There was a time when that was fun and games, but now, na bei ya mafuta, na issues in different sectors. You think you want to hear me talking about how I'm beautiful, or you want to hear me talking about how I'm going to solve your problems? I think that's where Kenyans are getting to. They're like, enough with the drama and the dancing and the craziness. Give us solutions.
Jagero, before you comment on the kind of politics we have in our country, let me retract a little bit and talk about the NCAC Commission. It's a National Cohesion and Integration Commission.
Okay.
There is a government agency, and when I'm taking a look at...
People are saying that your mic, by the way, is not very audible. Can you just go closer to it?
Right now, it's good?
Yeah,
perfect.
That's good, yeah.
Very good. So one of the responsibilities of NCAC is to ensure that they prevent discrimination. It fights ethnic or racial discrimination in workplaces, politics, education, and given the fact, the statement that Governor Orengo has just said, the question you must ask ourselves, the question that begs is that...
Can you read the mandate again?
The mandate of, maybe I can just sample a few: promoting national unity and cohesion, preventing discrimination, monitoring and stopping hate speech.
Okay.
So about monitoring and stopping hate speech, once that now they have detected what Governor Orengo has said, besides summoning Governor Orengo to the NCAC offices and telling him to apologize, what punitive measures has the Constitution empowered NCAC to make sure that such kind of statements do not happen again in the coming future? Now, going back to your question about the kind of politics we have in our country, is that sometimes you'll want to be idealistic and talk about the things you have, the manifesto you're going to do for the people, but the people are not very excited to listen to that. They want to say, mbona Jagero hauna nywele kwa kichwa, mbona hauna ndevu, why are you so tall, why are you so fat? That is the kind of information that people want to hear. Kama wanasema yule jamaa amenona, yule mwingine amekonda, which is quite unfortunate that leaders are sometimes forced to
At
talk.
the top,
yes,
leaders
to
at the
use
very
vulgar
top.
words because people are the one who, who are interested, who cheer them up and not jeer when they say such kind of statements. And it is said that if you want to get the ribs of a pig, you have to get ready to be dirtied, or you get yourself in the mud to be able to get the ribs of the pig. Yes.
So, for me, what I think that I don't think people are calling. I think that we have allowed politicians to set the tone and the agenda of what we want. Even when I go to the village and talk about politics, the people, my late brother, once told me that we do not want this MCA. And I asked him, why do you want the MCA? And he was asking me, what has he done? And I'm like, fair enough, but what did you tell him that you want done? Right? Because even when people are telling you your manifesto, I think as a people we have to have our manifestos. You can't just come and tell us that you want to create a dam and we have a river flowing next to us. Why do you want a dam? We don't want the dam. All we want is something that can purify this water so that it is safe for drinking.
But you see,
but not a dam.
People who speak the language you're speaking, usually they don't vote. They don't vote.
What do you mean?
Whereby they want to listen to the manifesto. They want to listen to your ideas.
I think no. I think no. There are people that genuinely want things to happen in their locality. There are people that, for example, in Nyakach constituency, right? In Nyakach constituency, what is it that we don't have? If you get out of the plateau and go down, you find that we have Upper Nyakach and then Lower Nyakach. Lower Nyakach is the dry place, where you plant, and by the time when you're just about to harvest, there is so much sun and everything is melted and scorched away. We are the people that are being affected by River Nyando, which is basically being poisoned by Chemelil sugar factory up in Muhoroni. All right, we do not have the only health facility that we have in Nyakach is called Papunditi Hospital, which does not even have do not have anybody who treats people. There are no doctors there, and they always joke that if you want to die faster, go to Papunditi Hospital because you are surely going to die
guaranteed.
there. You see, so there are people that actually want services to be down there. You see, but we have had the politics whereby people will come in the last 6 months of election, they will be running around in Nyakach. There is a lot of wash money that comes every electioneering period. They'll be coming with their V8, the black one, or 4 of them. The one at the last will be having only money in it. You see, and then people will be given money. And then there is a lot of making noise, but then there are a few people that are following them that make everybody think that that's what they want. But they're just the few that are following them. But there are people at home that are actually thinking about education. There is no ECD. There is nothing. There is no this. So there are parents that actually want that to happen.
So let me paint a picture for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been in any live political, arena.
I have.
Rally. So you tend to find out that is my voice okay, or I have to come closer there. Am I okay? Very good. So when you go to that any rally for that matter, you tend to realize that there is something called political aura.
Okay.
You want to move the people.
Yeah.
If you are saying you are from Trans Nzoia and you want to build some parks, segregated parks for those people, or some roads, it is not very enticing. So you have to find a way, to entice people. How can I move these people? How can I move these people?
I think you are conflating two issues, and I'm going to let Sheila.
Yeah, I think if I could just jump in and help and maybe give some tangible examples. In my experience, because I've now been running for Women Rep for Migori County for over a year, in the beginning, I knew what my brand was, and my attitude was quite simple. I knew I was an outsider. I knew this is something I haven't done before. And I said, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to present what I have, because the character you're presenting already exists, right? So it's a matter of, can I dance more, or can I be a little bit more vulgar? And I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to win that way. So I said, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to present what if there was a different way of doing it. And you'd be surprised. The people who vote the most, at least where I come from, because I come from Ushago, right? The people who vote the most are women. And these women are so loyal that when you go to the market, you sit down with them and you listen to them. I can believe you not. They're not going to be running after a V8. They're not the ones running after V8. In fact, they shy away from that, right? And in my county, for example, we don't have any female MPs. The only female who is a national figure there, is the women rep, right? So everybody else is male, and we haven't had any female MPs. And so you find them very much reserved and not wanting to be part of this goon and loudness and the aura that you're describing. We have had leaders before, in my county, for example, who, when they held the microphone, they could not even speak to the things that you're talking to. They were not good. I'll give you an example of the previous governor of Migori County, right? Governor Obado. Governor Obado's wife is an orator. I mean, when you hear her speak, she's very good at speaking. She knows how to speak to everybody. But when Governor Obado stands up to speak, there's nothing much that he says, you know? And people love him. It's amazing. People love him. But the wife was so much better during the campaigns at speaking, or everybody around him was so much better. Not that he doesn't know how to speak. Of course he knows how to speak. But he wasn't looking for that aura. He wasn't looking to make you laugh or to be a comedian. That really wasn't his thing. He was just standing giving his, memos and going. I think different people are gifted differently. Even the office that I'm seeking, right? You have people who can even sing in the middle of their speeches. And I mean sing just like, not a hymnal from the church. I mean just sing to like make the crowd be like, and they know how to pakre. How do you say pakre? They know how to... In Luo, we have this aura where you can be like, I am the daughter of so-and-so, the most beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And they do that. But guess what? Hold on, just guess what? When I get up, that is not where my aura comes from. But I get the same reaction from the audience, but I just do it differently. So I think people, in every cycle, we always go through moments of, I call them turning points, right? As an economist, we call them revolutions. There's different points where people are just tired of single party, single party, and they want multi-party democracy. And so whether we like it or not, we're going to have to change, right? There's times when we are tired of the old constitution and people are ready for a fresh start, so they vote in a new constitution. If during President Moi's first year, you had told people that there will come a time when we'll have democracy and people will be running around here trying to be president and anybody can say what they want, they would have laughed at you and said, are you kidding me? We have one president. We do Nyayo. Everybody else, you get arrested, you get exiled, and that's it. But guess what? We got to a point where it was just time for multi-party democracy, and that's what we had. If you had told somebody, one day we'll have governors, and then the governors are going to be like little presidents everywhere you come from. And then they will have budget. And somebody would look at you and say, no, you need to go to State House and ask for a doctor for Paponditi Hospital. That's how it works.
Yeah, picking on what you said, and you've explained very well. And I tend to agree with you because you say those who are very progressive, the women in the market, they'll listen to you. But they'll not be part of those people who will be running after SUVs trying to get some money from. And when I try to define political aura, is that I'm saying, when you're in a rally, people, you get all sorts of people trying to, come and listen to you. You speak whatever it's in your mind, try to sell your agenda. But the thing is now it drains down from talking about, your manifesto and ideas. And it boils down to how can I move these people? How can I enhance my magnetism? So the people you realize that the ones you are addressing right in front of you, they're not very progressive. But the thing is for the media likes, for you to cause a storm, in whatever county you're contesting for, in whatever city you're looking for, is that you have to use certain words like, for example, which is quite unfortunate, but for example, the one Orengo has used, so as to move those people. They're not necessarily interested in the progressive agenda you're trying to preach, but just try to make them move. Tell them to say 2-term or 1-term or whatever it is, but have them move.
And also, I think that the issue of rallies is making a lot of politicians fail. And sometimes it does not convert at all. For example, I'm gonna give you an example with my place. So if you are a politician, let's say you want to be the MP of Nyakach, and you're going to be running from market to market, I can assure you that you'll have full crowds in every market. For every stop, you'll have a full crowd.
I agree.
Right? So, candidate Y, let's say Sheila. Sheila has said that, okay, on a Saturday and a Sunday, I'm going to be moving to different markets. You will have all those markets full. Okay? Udur Jagero is coming 2 weeks later. You'll find all those markets full with people that are praising your name. Okay, Omaseti on the other week comes. You're gonna have and then every politician thinks that everybody loves you. No, but then at the end of the day, you are going to be behave like Kura Nyona, Kura Moja, and you're wondering, but who was filling the markets? So then it means that we have to move away as politicians from thinking that it is the crowds that are going to give us the votes. Because when people hear that a politician is coming to a so-and-so market, they're going to line up for the 50 shillings.
Yeah.
All of them. So they will line up for Sheila, they will line up for me, they will line up for you, they will line up for everybody.
And they will cheer
And they will cheer you.
Yeah.
So I think that the way we are going to do politics, I think, is probably talk to people, localize the politics completely. And this idea of standing on top of cars and telling people things, they're not going to agree with you. By the way, the moment you kick up the dust, wanasema hata huyu sasa anataka kuwa hivi. Sasa ikwani yeye anajua nini?
Yeah, no, Jagero, can I give you, you've reminded me of another example. If I could go back to the example that I was giving you before.
Yeah.
The first time when we introduced counties, I'll go back to the same governor, Obado, this first governor of Migori. This guy, at that point, we're in the middle of ODM and we have Baba. And if you're not speaking Baba, what are you even saying, right? So we're at the height of it. Baba is in the presidency, everything is locked in. The quickest way for you to have been elected at that period in my area was just get the ODM certificate. Once you get the ODM nominations, don't even campaign. Just go and sleep. You're
Go and sleep.
Go and sleep.
30% in the basket.
No, more than that.
More than 30%.
Because Raila is on the presidential ballot, so it's a 6-piece. Everywhere you go, you need to do 6 because we are supporting Baba. And do you know that in Migori County, this same governor I'm telling you about, I remember Obado was in a pickup truck, double cab, and sometimes he could just park it nowhere. He was going door to door. Now, if you go on the major highways, it was in orange. It was covered in orange because there was the Baba's choice, right? It was Professor Yugi. So there was somebody, the ODM candidate for governorship. And they used to come, if you remember, they were coming in rallies and they campaigned together, right? So everyone, when Yamepewa, the certificate for ODM will come together. There was a road show. If you went to the road, oh my goodness, they've won. Because how could they not have? It was orange everywhere. It was pomp, it was color, it was tractors, it was choppers, the whole 9 yards. Meanwhile, where was Governor Obado? Governor Obado used to park his 2 small cars, walk. Nothing much. Just walks. And like I told you, the wife was very good at talking to people. Go door to door, just walk, go door to door. The day when election came, so he lost, he didn't have the ODM certificate. And I can tell you that it was probably because he wasn't that guy who gets the crowd going and says all those things. Because like I said, that's just not him. But he went door to door and he spoke to people. I talk about him a lot because he's one of my inspiration for my county, because it works for my county. And guess what happened, Jagero? He lost that one. He went with a small party nobody knew anything about called PDP, whatever that means. Nobody knows what that is. But he went door to door. When election day came, remember the choppers and the pomp and the colors and ODM, and Baba is a presidential candidate. Migori County voted for an independent governor, but voted everything else ODM. But for the governor, they said, that one leave. The guy who came to my doorstep to talk to me, that's the one I want. Not the one I see in the choppers and selling all the funny things. And so I'm saying this to mean that, you know, it can work, and it can work differently if you show your value differently. Because I think we're also getting to a point there, at least in my region, where there's no Baba in the presidential ballot. That's going to be a tough one to convince everybody to do this 6-piecing thing, right? Politicians will now have to learn to not be exceptional, but talk to people. Now they're your employers. You will have to now sit down with them, go to that market, sit down, listen, talk. It can't be like, there's this exceptionalism of politicians, or when they go somewhere, like, you can't breathe the oxygen I'm breathing, right? So I'm on top of a sunroof, or I'm doing something, then I give you dust when I'm leaving. That one?
Are you saying, in other words, that in the next coming election, there will be a lot of surprises, whereby those who have the numbers, the popularity...
You know, I can tell you, and mark my words, Jagero, I don't know much about the presidency.
Okay.
I'm going to pack that there. Because I don't know much about the presidency.
Why are you saying that you don't? Why are you saying that
we don't know yet who's coming up against President Trump. That's the reality of it. We don't know yet who is coming up against.
But you have an idea of who will be coming up.
That's why I said I don't know. I want to talk about things I am very sure of.
Okay.
So let me talk about what I'm very sure of. Because for the presidency, I don't know what they want to do with that section. Now let's start from governor, go down. There's 5 seats going down for free. It will be the biggest surprises you will ever see in your life, because the things we depended on last time are no longer the things we are going to depend on now to get elected, right? The dynamics have changed a lot. There's a lot of blocks that are now falling apart. And people have also woken up and realized, we, the people, the power is now with us. You know, in my region, they say, you know, the way Raila used to hold your hand and say, Jagero is the one.
That is
yeah,
normal.
the people now have to hold your hand and tell you, and we don't know whose hand they're going to hold as a population. You just don't know. So there is no one-way formula, and the biggest surprises will come from your governor going down. Whoever you think is going to be your governor, your MP, your women rep, your MCA, think again.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
By mentioning Raila by name, but I think that is a bit controversial knowing where you come from.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, what are the votes actually saying about 2027? Because you talk with them every other day. What are they saying? What are their biggest worry? What is their biggest fear? What is their biggest excitement?
Their biggest excitement is that they get to be Baba now. They get to be the ones to hold your hand. They get to be the one to, tell you you are enough, you're not enough. It is them. Because, and I'm talking about my region, right? Because my region, we relied a lot on Baba. He was always on the ballot and, things like, and that dynamic is now not there. And we're very fragmented, and it looks like it's becoming very difficult to get us back into a block. So if you talk to the people, they tell you, this time it is us. You come and talk to us, you come and negotiate with us, and that's what is going to work. There's also a different kind of anxiety that they are seeing. I think a lot of the old political class was used to, there was a one-stop shop. You can go and you can converge at one point, and that gives you access to the rest of the electorate. I think now the calculation is a bit difficult, because who do you talk to deliver for you this one vote?
Yeah,
which certificate? Which project? Which alignment? Right? Because now options are just, they're everywhere, and we cannot predict for sure that from governor going down, this is the formula that is going to guarantee you that you get what you get. And that's why I keep telling people, people like us who never had cartels, we are used to talking to the people. We've gotten this far because we've just gone to the people, and the people are lifting you up. So we don't feel like I personally don't feel like there's a carpet that has been, pulled out of my foot with everything else going on, because I was used to it. Nobody was holding my hand anywhere and doing anything for me. So this is all I know.
Okay.
But you can clearly see that other status quo are struggling a lot.
I want to ask you a difficult question after, but I want to listen to what you have to say.
Yes, what is happening in Nyanza right now is very interesting.
Okay.
Because we have the dominant party, ODM, asking the party, the leading party, that is the ruling party, that is UDA, that in Nyanza region we are advocating for zoning.
Okay.
But zoning, you can see it in two ways, whereby number one, if they go the zoning way, of course, it will be somehow in favor of ODM. But if that will not be the case, then you tend to find that those who will be contesting under UDA ticket or any other ticket in Nyanza, or any other party in Nyanza, the ODM, party will lose a number of seats in Nyanza, and that will be fading away its popularity, as far as leading this nation is concerned. And also on the flip side of it is that when you say there is no zoning, that will help, people have a turnout and support the president if that will be the case. And if zoning will be there, then, it will hurt a number of people whereby they want to support the president, but since their candidate is not running for any seat because of the zoning thing, then there'll be a lot of, voter apathy in Nyanza.
Yeah, I don't know about zoning. Sheila is the correct person to ask to ask about zoning, because, I am very disillusioned by the politics of Western Nyanza, especially the Luo Nyanza. I've been very disillusioned with it. I'm one of the guys that have never supported Raila Odinga. I don't know. The last time I voted for him, or so to speak, was in 2002 when he voting for him because he was telling us to vote for Kibaki. I've got a lot of problems with Luo Nyanza politics, and it is right now in full display. What it is. You look at Orengo, he is blaming Ruto every day. But look at Siaya, there is nothing to write home about that place. You see, he is saying that he's a litigant. Is that the correct word?
Yes.
Yeah. But he's also the same person that is standing up and saying that he's a party leader, having not been elected by anybody. You see? But he's saying that he's a man who knows the law. They say that he's a walking constitution. But he's also the man that is standing up there and telling us that, you go to Migori, you go to. I like what is happening at a place. Migori County. Migori County has got some AI stuff going on.
We are the exception. We're setting the pace.
It's really, really interesting. So first of all, I don't think that whether you zone Nyanza, you don't zone it, you have nowhere to run to. You are completely against the wall. You're going to come out of that wall and say, okay, what is it that you're going to do for the people? What is it that you're going to, what are your projects that you've lined up? There is no way you're going to be talking about zoning. Because the only reason why I think they are afraid of zoning is that they are still thinking about the 30% or 50% when you have that orange logo next to your name. But I don't think it's going to work. How many people have told me, Jagero, when are you bringing us Ruto to this place? People are seeing me with the Joaquim and telling me, Jagero, when are you bringing Wanjigi to Nyakach? I mean, people are so excited.
But I think that's a good thing. It's time for democracy. And if you look at the dynamics, that's why I said we have options. ODM, of course, is there. Like I told you, our governor's first round was with a little-known party. It was basically an independent governor. In Migori, we have 8 sub-counties. Of the 8 sub-counties, 2 of them are Kuria. Kuria is completely UDA. Even in the last election, they voted in President Ruto. They were UDA. They had nothing to do with whatever we had going on with Baba. And so I always give that and say Migori can be, you can afford in Migori to exercise a bit of, enjoy democracy, because even if you go to UDA, you have 2 constituencies that you can bag because they're all UDA. Even if you don't, then you come to the other side. But I am excited. I think it's so exciting that we for the first time get to experience, a good democracy. When it comes to zoning, it's an interesting subject because we have a problem in the last election with voter apathy, especially within the young people. So what are the numbers? What did the numbers look like in 2022? Yeah. In 2022, we had President Ruto, who got 7 million thereabouts. We had Raila Odinga, who got, again, another 7, give or take, But the majority of registered voters, the majority of them, the 8 million, did not vote. They registered, they never showed up to vote. So when we were on the streets in 2024 protesting, that cohort did not feel an allegiance to either side. Yeah. Their candidate wasn't there and the other guy wasn't their candidate either because they never voted. I bring this up to say we cannot overlook voter apathy. That's what happens when you have voter apathy. It does not legitimize your win. You can win, but you're not winning with the people. So when you're people are just waiting like hawks for the simplest mistake you make, and they're up in arms because you are never their candidate, and they don't feel any kind of patience that they need to exercise with you. So any elected leader should always prioritize maximizing voter turnout because it legitimizes your position. It protects you in many ways. Now, we go back to Nyanza. Already at national level, we know that 75% of the population is under the age of 35. 2 things we know about them. We know that they can decide today, if they wake up and they decide in Kisumu County, our governor is this person, if only the people under the age of 35 vote, they can have their candidate. If they decide it's a block. People decide in tribal blocks.
Under 35?
Under 35, we are 75% of this population. It's crazy.
In the country?
In the whole country.
Yes.
Insane. They can have their own president. They can wake up today and say, Sheila is our president. And if under 35, forget the rest of them, under 35 say we are going to vote today, they have their candidate. The end. The only thing you can bank on is that they do what they typically do, which is that they don't show up to vote.
Yeah.
Suppress voter turnout. That you can do. But if in a perfect condition, which there is no perfect condition, they showed up, they are the ones, these ones making noise in the streets here, it is them. And I always sensitize them and tell them, if you understood how much power you hold, you have the power to decide or not to decide who's becoming a president if you identify yourself as a bloc.
Are you excited about the Gen Z, voter community?
I'm extremely excited. I'm excited because I have studied other political patterns before in other places. If you study how Barack Obama was able to become president in 2008 for the first time. If he used the traditional voters in the United States, he would have never become a president. He activated a new voter bloc, which was young college students. These people never voted. Voting was always for their parents. But Obama walked in and said, these ones are not going to care that I'm black, that I'm Kenyan, that I'm whatever all these things are. These guys they're ready to go with whatever. And he activated this voter bloc and made them into a new bloc. So when you talked to them, they were like, we are young people, we are college students, we are mobilizing to vote. They forgot about their race, they forgot about where they were from, they forgot about their religions, they formed a new bloc. So I think the task here, I'm excited, of course, about the youth vote. But the task must be that we have to get them to register to get IDs, get them to register to vote, and actually get them to show up on voting day. Because historically speaking, they don't show up. The 8 million, they just never showed up to vote. They had the voter card, but they never showed up to vote.
And that is that is an interesting question that everybody should ask. Why are they not showing up?
They did not show up in 2022 because they were not. It's the apathy. They thought it's something we are never involved in. Until 2024, when all of a sudden they led a movement in 2024. They led a movement in 2024. And now we have to understand as youth that the reason that never bore, fruits as much as we would have wanted to do is that we were not organized within the structure because anarchy was not a solution. So we needed to somehow organize. We needed to vote our people in. We needed to pay more attention, right? And we needed to start being a bit more active within this space. It has happened in other countries before. We're not the first ones who are trying to do this, right?
All right.
In the age of information.
Having said what you said, I want to say that and contribute that this round they'll have to show up.
They have to show up. And I'm telling them also, in Migori, I tell them, nobody, these people here, these ones are cartels.
When you look at the last election, given the fact that under 35 years are 75% of Kenya's population, right now, back then, Jagero, we were being pampered with our, guardians and parents. You don't have rent to pay. Your food is well taken care of. You have somewhere to stay. Education is well taken care of. Now, we are doing that on our own as the young people. And we are feeling the pinch. When the fuel levy is increased, we are feeling it. When the help loan is not given equally among us, or even the interest rates are very high and the bonds are not well structured, we are feeling it. When food prices are increasing in the market, we are feeling it. So we have no any other way than showing up. Showing up, we must show up. That I can tell you for a fact.
All right.
Yes, and maybe just to ask my colleague here, what informs, I've never been to Migori, but I find the politics of Migori very interesting. The patterns that tend to, happen in every election cycle in Migori, is it because of a growing democracy, number one? Or is it because of the masses trying to go against the system that has been around for a very long time? So which is which?
I wish it was because of the second reason, so I had a better intellectual. I would feel superior to answer. It is because the age-old usual stuff. So, like I said before, if we always resort back to our tribal cocoons in the end. So, like I said before, you have two constituencies where you have Kuria, and Kuria will always just do the opposite of whatever the Luo communities are doing. Because they're minorities and they always feel neglected all the time. So when you are in ODM making noise, they'll just go to UDA because they can negotiate better. And it was true. They had a PS. They had a lot of this government stuff the two Kuria constituencies had before we had them. We have a very huge Maragoli community as well within one of the sub-counties called Uriri sub-county. We are at the border. We have Maragolis. A lot of Maragolis live in Uriri in one constituency.
How did they find themselves there?
And it's been historical. It's been for a while. We even have a good Kisii population. Migori County has 4.
It looks like Kisii. Even in geography, it looks like Kisii.
So one of the constituencies, Rongo, borders Kisii.
Oh yeah.
If you go up to Kuria, Isbania. We border Isbania on that side, right? So we are at the border with Tanzania on that other end. If you go out to Awendo, the other side, we're on Transmara. We're on the other side. We're bordering now. The other so it's a space where there's a lot of dynamics that are going on. And as you can imagine, because of those reasons, because of the border we have, so if you want to just divide us into tribes, it becomes very difficult. There's people who came from Suba and then live with us. There's people who came to access the lake. And so when people resort back to their small tribes, they decide to negotiate as a block. So when you come to them, you just can't have the monolithic culture of us as Luos, we're doing this and that. That can't work.
Allow me to ask, using Migori as the case study, you are saying the Kuria people prefer to go their own route simply because they can negotiate better as opposed to joining the bandwagon.
Yes.
Using Migori as case study, and you look at other counties, using the example of Trans Nzoia County, where we have the Luos, we have the Luyas, Kisis, Tesos, Masais, Kikuyus. Are you saying, in other words, that the voting block of saying Sisi ni Wajaluo, Sisi ni Waluya will be, done away with and focus on how the minority, communities will have to vote? That is in regards to whether their priorities or rather what they are advocating for will be taken care of or not. Will that be the case?
I think historically that has been the case. And the reason I'm saying we need to activate a new voter block is because you and me, as we sit in this table, when we decide this is the person we are going for, it's not going to matter that I am Luo or I'm Kikuyu and you're whatever. What Gen Zs offered when they kept saying we are tribeless was the fact that they were trying to transcend this. And that's why I like this case study that I keep bringing up of Obama. Obama managed to do it without race, religion, and the rest of them. When typically that has been the cohorts that people run into during American elections. People go for race, they go for Catholic, they go for all those things. But if he decided to do it in that environment, he would have failed terribly. It's because he managed to get a generation that has a good number, like us now with the youth and under 35, and then somehow managed to tell them, we are raceless, we are, on all that stuff. And then he had to do the hard work of mobilizing them to get to the ballot. And speaking a language they understand. If you ask me, I think our country is at just a cusp. Either we can fall back or we can tilt it forward. But when Gen Zs kept saying we are tribeless, what they were trying to communicate is that when bei ya mafuta, when it goes up, I pay as much as you pay. When I don't have a job, when the help hasn't come in, it's not like they ask you, okay, Luo's on one side so you can receive a better banding because you support us, or Kikuyu's on the other side. That's not what's happening. It's boiling down to us at the same time. We also, as young people in this country, don't have the burden of feeling guilty of having to align with certain we have the luxury of not carrying the burden.
We have no debt to pay.
Certain historical things that have happened where I just feel bad for so-and-so because they were the freedom fighters.
Okay.
We don't really care.
I want us to get to the meat of our conversation today. And basically I'm asking the question, the money that we collect as a country, where does it go? And I want us to play something about Gachagua, but not yet. Mr. John Tez, not yet. I just want to read a story here, which is very interesting, that before President William Ruto left the country for Azerbaijan on a chartered luxury jet on Saturday, there were all indications that a nationwide strike called by transporters would cripple the country some 2 days ago, right? So he left without a word on the looming crisis. A few hours later, he landed in the capital of Baku on Sunday morning. All right. Something very interesting is how Mr. Ruto traveled there. And it has been a very controversial conversation that is going on. The taxpayer possibly forked out a total of 37 million on the jet to Baku in Azerbaijan. The Boeing 737-8DV will cost the taxpayer even more when other expenses to maintain his delegation are factored. This is the nation. The taxpayer possibly forked out, manufactured in 2001, the luxury jet is one of the most sought after large VIP jets in the world and can fly between 19 and 50 guests. According to the globalcharter.com, a premier jet brokerage BBJ2 charter rates generally range between 18,000, that's about 2 million Kenya shillings, to $25,000, that's about 3.5 or thereabout, per flight hour, depending on the interior, the layout, amenities, and the routing, but could cost even more. So, according to the flight radar, the aircraft that was carrying the President of the Republic of Kenya flew from Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport between May 16th, 9:18 p.m. and landed in Baku on the 17th at around 5 a.m. with the flight time recorded as about 7 hours, 47 minutes. Taking the lower cost of the $18,000 per hour and an exchange rate of 129 to the US dollar, the cost of a one trip from Nairobi to Baku is approximately 18 million. Assuming that the president will use the same jet on return trip, the cost implication on the taxpayer will be 37 million. They have not eaten, they have not done anything. Just to Baku and back. All right? So that sets the tone. All right? There is somebody that is saying here, I'm not a madman. I said I was not ready to pay more than 153,000. They said people are talking about this all over the place. I want to play Gachagua, and Gachagua at some point says very unsavory things, but that is the nature of our politics, and I don't agree with it. But it puts a lot of drama. It dramatizes the fact. Can we listen to him? Yeah.
When the country is burning, despite having been properly briefed that there are problems, and Kenya will come to a standstill, He left on an overseas trip in a private jet, I am told the most luxurious in the world, where you are paying 5 million shillings per hour. That jet that he left with is the epitome of luxury, with a full bedroom and a massage parlor and a spa with a jacuzzi, steam, sauna, and the massage parlor has 4 girls from Seychelles. He is enjoying when Kenyans are struggling in air. And then you're asking Kenyan that people have a problem with William Ruto because he's a Kalenjin. Kipchumba Murkomen, if you have forgotten. Nobody has any problem with the Kalenjin nation. When the people of Kenya elected William Ruto as president, they knew he's a Kalenjin.
It is interesting, Sheila. This question has been a very difficult one and a very headache one, a political headache, about the way we use. This is just one of the issues that have been raised about the expenditure, how we spend our money as a country. You remember the 17 billion that is being used by State House. You remember Kindiki has been accused several times of misusing money, and so on and so forth. Kenya's recurrent expenditure has nearly doubled in 5 years. Okay, from a budget of Kenya shillings 1.8 trillion on the financial year 2020 to 2021 to actual outturn of about 2.9, about 3 trillion for 2024-2025. Okay, recurrent expenditure by the national government amounted to about 2.9 billion, falling short of the 2.9 billion target by Kenya shillings 40 billion. So there is also the debt service, which is the runaway driver for our expenditure. Consolidated fund services, interest plus pensions plus not lending rose to 700 billion 2020-2021 to 1.2 billion in 2024-2025. Then there is the public sector wage bill. It's above the legal 35% revenue ceiling. We also have the recurrent and development split that has worsened. Recurrent expenditure took 71% of the 2023-24 budget, 73% of the 2024-2025 budget, 73% again of 2025-2026. All right? So I was doing a little bit of research among African peers. Kenya's debt service burden is uniquely punishing. That's what they say. Nigeria's 2024 budget implementation report, Q4, from the Budget Office of the Federation states that out of the 19 trillion and in 2024, about Naira 11 trillion went into debt payment alone, 69% of the federal revenue, an improvement from 2023 when debt service swallowed 78%. Kenya's debt service to revenue ratio was 69 in 2024. Then it jumped again to 60. Allocated about 70% of total. So, and then if you look at the advanced economy spend, more in percentage of GDP, but in different thing. France has 57. Okay? And then we have the UK at 44. Kenya is 69. All right? And then we have Germany at 49.5. All right? And then we go to other countries. It goes down and down as you go to Norway and to the Scandinavian countries. It goes all the way down and down and down. And this is what is interesting in this country. So the question I want to ask you is, when you hear that, I don't know about Seychelles and the women that were aboard the plane. But Gachagua is trying to paint a picture, right? What do you think? The question that I'm asking you is, are we taking care of our money that we collect?
I think I answer it from an economic perspective.
Okay.
So the first thing is the countries that you compare to, Germany at 50, France at 50 something.
Yeah.
Debt in itself is not the problem. There's bad debt and there's good debt in economics. If you borrow because you'd like to increase productivity, that is an investment. That's a good debt to have.
Okay.
Because it's a debt that is going in order for you to increase the income that you'll have later.
Okay.
I'll take an example of our neighbor in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a landlocked country. Ethiopia decided that they wanted to embark on being energy sufficient. Their idea of increasing production and therefore increasing revenue was that they wanted to make sure that they had the dam. So they could supply the dam, they're even going to sell the extra energy out there. Why? Because power is a critical factor of production. If you have cheap power that is easily available, you can manufacture, you can get business centers, this is an array of things that you can get out of it. You can even sell the extra energy that you produce. They decided. Ethiopia decided they were not going to go and ask anyone for a loan for it. They wanted to get the money and do it themselves, and then that would help them. So you see, this is a case where there was a plan. Even if Ethiopia had decided we're going to get a loan to build it, there's nothing wrong with debt, as long as the debt is producing something. Now, what is the case of Kenya? Because someone might tell you, even France has debt. Yeah, okay, that's fine. France has debt. But here's the big major difference between France and Kenya, is that we have, number one, something we call odious debt. This is debt that we borrowed. Some of it did not even land in Kenya. When they were being brought from country X, somewhere along the way, they were diverted into some place where it's a scandal as usual in Kenya. They rely on us for our amnesia so that we forget, and so it's sitting there. But you have to pay it back, right? Some of it is debt that was not transparent. So you were told SGR will cost X amount. Don't worry. The money that we're going to get back from SGR will be able to pay for it. Well, guess what happened? No, it's making losses. You need to pay for it. So the problem with Kenya is not just the debt. The problem with Kenya is that 1/3 of our revenue in this country is budgeted corruption. 1/3 of the money we are making goes straight into corruption. It's insane when you think about it.
Odhiambo has talked about budgeted corruption.
1/3.
But what is it?
Budgeted corruption means that at any point when you're doing the budget and you say, okay, I want to go and buy this spoon because we need to put the spoon in X hospitals. And you say, how much is a spoon? A spoon is 100 shillings. We say, okay, so now within the budget, we have to make it 200 shillings. Because of course 100 shillings must buy the spoon. That was what was in the agenda. But then the other 100 is one that we just need to, oil the systems, to even allow the hospital to accept the spoons that we are giving them. I mean, they need to get something, right? We all need to get something along the way. So you're buffering up expenditure because you're budgeting for corruption, because you're anticipating. And this is across the board. It's not just Ruto. It's in counties. It's everywhere. And so this is budgeted corruption along the way. So you find that we have lack of transparency, first of all, when we are borrowing. And then when the money lands, it is not even used the way it's supposed to be used. So we are paying debt that we cannot even account for, right? And this is the major difference between them getting debt and us getting debt. And the Kenyan scenario is very worrisome because do you know that in the full 10 years of Kibaki as president, if you compare it to the 3 years that Ruto has been president, Ruto has collected more revenue in these 3 years than Kibaki did in the whole 10 years. Collected. And yet, our debt is now completely out of control. Now we've even passed the Kenyatta period. Now we're just, I don't know where we're going, but we are going somewhere. And it begs the question of fiscal discipline. If you look at our expenditure, I like focusing a lot on expenditure. What are we spending this money on is the big question. If we are all broke as a family, we can come in as your parents and tell you, Jagero, now, instead of you having a driver and a car to drop you to university, let's figure out how to take matatus. Because things are tough now. We need to buckle up a little bit. There's wars going on. The people are getting sicker because of this disease. So let's buckle it up and let's do it together. And then people will say, okay, sounds
Are you telling Ruto to be taking a first class?
I'm just saying.
No. Well, let's relate it to.
You know the crazy part is it's so bad that sometimes one day I was arguing with my sister and telling her, even if he didn't take that jet, even this was now, at this point, I think it was Kindiki who had 8 million of choppers per day or something.
Yes.
By the way, can we just take a minute to appreciate our control of budget? That woman, we need to protect her with our lives. Nobody listens to her, but the way she sits every day diligently, passuring us with the latest, do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
And we're discussing this, and I told her, so you think if he doesn't take this chop of 8 million, that somehow you'll be better off? Like, even if we say, let him take the jet, fine. But can you tell us where our money has gone to? The one for e-citizen. Can you tell us the fuel, the money that we just lost? The PS was arrested, right? He hasn't been charged. What happened there? Can you tell us where the money is? Even if we just let them take the jets, the money that we are draining because of corruption and because of this amnesia we're supposed to have as a country is crazy. Meanwhile, in economic planning, we are not talking enough about production. You see, if we produced more, we would have more to spend. But we are just those, the fancy cousins who will not accept to move out of Runda and just come live with the rest of us somewhere here because pesa is getting low. We are becoming those cousins.
When you talk about production, what exactly does that mean?
That means that you need to be able to make money in order for us to have enough revenue, enough taxes, then we can use all the luxury jets we have. It won't be a problem. That means that, for example, now, when you increase the price of fuel, you are increasing the price of food, you are decreasing productivity. In Kenya, a very small amount of people actually have a paycheck that they're salaried and you can tax them. It's the easiest and most efficient way of collecting money, is that you tax people using their salaries. But that's a very small sector. It's like maybe 30%. 70% of this economy is informal, which means you're not collecting the taxes. The best way for you to collect the taxes is when you buy bread, you buy your milk, you buy, that's where the taxes come in. When people don't have purchasing power, when they can't go and they can't buy things, their food, their school fees, their whatever it is, then you end up restricting how much income you have. So in good economic planning, what you need to do is you need to say, we need to produce more. Let's create more jobs. When we create more jobs, we have more paychecks to tax them, right? When we create more jobs, people can go out. You use the private sector to meet your development needs, right? Because when I give you a job, you can go and pay the school fees for your child. I don't need to worry about giving you a bursary so you can pay your child's school fees. Just go and do it by yourself. So factors of production means that we are encouraging businesses, or we are encouraging people to be productive as a government. Manufacturers are leaving Kenya. The cost of our energy is too high. The cost of our taxes are too high, right? So people are leaving. So then people don't have jobs. So it's like a vicious cycle. What you need to do is you need to focus more on productivity. Let's get more manufacturers in so we do value addition. That means that many people will get jobs. Let's get the cost of power. Let's produce power. How about we produce power? When you produce power, you will not pay so much money for basic commodities that you have. But now we are importing a toothpick. We're going to get to a point now where we'll start importing toothpick because it's cheaper to import than to produce it here. Eggs were coming from Uganda. Mm-hmm.
But the question is now, Ruto has got 21 advisors. The government has got 21 advisors. So, okay, so what is going on there?
That's a good question. I think we have given him the most advisors than we have given any other president. I'm not sure what is going on there, and quite frankly, this morning I was going back to watch the then candidate, Vice President Ruto, who was a candidate for presidency, just to remember his manifesto, because I remember thinking, he's going to get something right. He's going to focus on the wheelbarrow, the bottom people. Because when you do that, then it's going to stimulate the economy much better. So
what was your understanding of the wheelbarrow? Yeah,
the wheelbarrow. For example, because today we are talking about the price of fuel.
Yeah,
we managed to find a clip from June of 2022, where President Ruto clearly says, my agenda right now, because at the time the price of fuel was an issue, and he said there's too many taxes on the price of fuel. You need to remove those taxes. And he was speaking everything that we're talking about now. So I don't know what happened between 2022 and today that we are finding ourselves that he had even doubled VAT. Now it's back to 8%, but it was 16%, even made it go higher. I'm not sure what it is or what the distraction is. One thing I can point out to that I would blame almost immediately is that we have had a non-ending cycle of politics, and I don't know at what point we're supposed to work, because it's just the constant politicking of even the president himself. He's been on a constant political mode that I don't know if he's not been able to actually see, because these things require time and forethought and communication and the rest of them, that we're just politicking so much that we're getting into the next cycle.
I have actually, if you actually look at the diary of the president, you have this picture of a robot.
Or a campaign rally, a never-ending campaign rally.
Somebody that is always awake.
You know, Jagero, to measure the performance metric of a society or a country, for that matter, is that there are certain parameters you need to look at.
Okay.
The vulnerable in the community, the poor, are they happy?
Yeah.
And even when you climb up to the people who classify themselves as the middle class, they're also hurting. Some have, cars that they've bought on loan. They're being repossessed. School fees is very, very high. The rent is also increasing. So And you tend to say that anytime the president is jetting out, there is this tendency whereby anytime he jets out, there's always a problem in Kenya. And I tend to understand, or rather ask myself, why is that the case? Because if using the words of the former DP, Rigathi Gachagua, saying that he's using, a lot of lagis flying to Baku and back, costing around over 34 million, that is quite a lot given the fact that the fuel prices for the last 2 days, the country had come to a standstill because the fuel prices were very high. So you ask yourself, if those in leadership are living a luxurious life, yet for us, the poor, the middle class, we are paying a lot of taxes, left, right, and center, and the economy is hurting. I mean, when you juxtapose the two, how can that be vindicated? That you're using a lot of money to fly around, to buy new cars, extreme luxurious cars, yet a simple thing as a maize flour is lacking in a number of households here in Nairobi, let alone in Kenya, because there's urban, poverty. Number two, my colleague panelist has talked about budgeted corruption. It is on rampant, and not only in the national government, but also at the county level of government. The governors now are prone to corruption more than the national government. It's like they're competing.
Devolved corruption.
Exactly, devolved corruption. Na wanasema fa wawili wakipigana, yes ndio huumia. The people are hurting. That's why I'm telling you, the next coming election, there'll be a lot of surprises. And when you take a look at the informal sector in Kenya, it's so huge, and they are making a lot of money. I want to give you an example. I hope I will not invite vilification by people in that sector. For example, using the example of the matatu industry, there are people known as, they are touts. Then below the touts, they are kamagera. Have you ever heard of such a word?
Kamagera, no.
These guys, they get a lot of money doing that business of trying to ferry people to get them into cars and also sit in cars, pretend that the cars is empty or not. And once you enter, they get out.
What are they called again?
They are called kamagera.
Kamagera.
Yeah.
When you try to calculate every 100 shillings or 50 shillings for every bus, and maybe using the example of Kasarani, there are 35 buses plying the route of Kasarani. And that is 35 buses. And each of them is doing 10 trips. And when you multiply by 20 or 50 shillings they are getting, isn't that a lot of money? But these people have not been incorporated into the tax payment system. So instead of government trying to find out ways to see how they can bring in the people in the informal sector on how they can start paying taxes, they are hurting those already, in the formal sector, taking a lot of their income to taxes. In fact, we go to an extent of saying, sieri basi wachukue mshahara wetu watuachie tax, because tax is on the higher side of things. You get the point? So the government needs to look at the informal sector and try to find out how they're going to tap into.
Sheila, I've got a very big problem of trying to, Mr. Maseti is saying that we should be getting everybody in the tax bracket. I mean, when you are not able to see you are the people you lead, then there is a problem. Why is it that the government cannot see the Kamagera guys?
That is the point.
And then the other question that arises is, what is the government doing for the Kamagera? Now, you want to tax them, you want their money, but what are you doing for them?
I think that's another thing. There's no incentive to pay.
You see,
what to do what with your money once they get it for budgeted corruption?
Yeah, like I've always said, I don't know how much I rank as somebody who holds conversations, but I do the business of conversations, right? As a podcast, I have got a combined following of about 3 million across socials. Does the government know about me? The answer is no. They don't know. They don't care. They don't want to, as the government said that, okay, let us go and look at podcasters, the top 200 in Kenya, right? And say, okay, how are their business supposed to get better? What can we do? Because Ruto is waiting for my money at the point that Google sends it and it takes tax from it. But also expecting me that once that money lands into the account, I'm supposed to be taxed again. But does the government know the price of a microphone? No. Does the government know the price of internet? What does the government know? So when the government is trying to put me into a tax bracket, what is the stimulation that it has given to me? And that is a problem. So I do not agree with you that they should go and hound and follow the Kamagera guys and put them in a tax bracket. Why? What is the government giving them? Has the government bought them matatus? I don't know.
But they have built the stages.
Yeah?
They have built the stages.
No, government do not build stages. There are no stages in Kenya. Have you ever seen a stage?
The stages.
I've never seen a stage in Kenya.
Stages,
where?
You don't use matatu, there are stages.
No, there are no stages.
Is that the same place for you?
There are no stages. Matatus stop everywhere.
Yes, that is what you refer as a stage.
No, you can't just stop
It's a
everywhere.
bus stop. It's a stage.
But anyway, that is beside the point.
Yeah.
So for you, why do you want to get the Kamageras to pay tax?
Because it will reduce the pinch that those in the informal sector are experiencing. Because
so you have a problem with how much the Kinashila pay?
Yes, that is the issue. That is the thing. They are really squeezing a lot in their salary.
I don't know, Sheila, are you feeling jealous that Kamageras are not being taxed?
Because it's all about value for money, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I have worked, one of the last, one job I worked in Denmark for a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
And the amount of tax I paid was 47%.
Yeah.
Almost half of my paycheck was going to taxes. And guess what, Jagero? I was so happy. They could have even taken 60, I would have let them. Do you know why?
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare is included. It's safe. Public transport is essentially almost just free. You don't need to drive. You
Everything
just
is
go.
working.
Everything is working. So I tell them, take and just leave for me the one for Shere. I'm okay.
You understand, Shere?
Yeah, just leave for me the one for me to just enjoy myself, because the rest of it, take it in taxes, because I know when I fall sick, I go to the hospital, I don't have a bill. I know that for children, they can go to school up to medicine. I will never pay anything.
You know, right now at the roundabout.
Quality
right now at the roundabout of Yaya, there is a big pothole. Unaweza ingia hapo. And imagine what Sakaja is here.
Governor.
Yes, and you can see the city kanjos roaming around with what look like hooks, looking for cars that have not paid taxes right around the portal. And they're not doing anything about it.
And that's why the question that begs here, Jagero, is that even those who are in the informal sector, they will want, because I know some of them want to come into the tax bracket system. But the question is why don't they want, or why will the government incorporate them? Because it boils down to, as Sheila said, value for money. If I'm giving you, if you're deducting money from my, pay slip, what am I getting at the end? Are the hospitals working? Are the road networks, in perfect condition? That is the case, Jagero, we are looking at. Yes.
And some of these nations that tax the highest, for example, there is no appetite for private schools or private hospitals.
Yes.
It's not a thing. Because the public one is doing just fine, and they invest in it, and it's not an issue. So, and the other thing is, you can never, it's been proven in economic history, you can never tax your way out of debt. You can never tax your way out into development or prosperity. Like, that's not the way you do it. You have to constantly keep increasing your tax, your revenue base. You need more people to contribute. But if you just take the 30% and you keep making them pay more and more and more and more, that's not going to work. At some point, they'll get tired because you're not helping them to be more productive. But when I talked about productivity, for example, Jagero, if today, in the example I gave you of Ethiopia, if today we came and we told you, okay, you keep saying you have internet, you have electrical, what if I told you your Kenya Power bill now, you'll only pay a quarter of it because I've made electricity so cheap? Guess what's going to happen? Instead of the 200 podcaster, now we'll have 2,000 podcaster, and I can get more money from Google. Easy peasy, right?
Yeah.
So taxes cannot be seen as punitive in nature, because there's nothing fundamentally wrong with taxing, right? It's okay, but people need to demonstrate value for their money. They need to be able to see that, yes, I am paying it, and this is the return that I'm getting from it. And it's only fair that we all do our fair share of contributing to it, right? And how do you do it? There are very good government programs, by the way, that are working to move more people into the formal sector. This issue of this concept of having cooperatives, I've always said it is brilliant. Get people in the informal sector to go into SACCOs and cooperatives. Let them negotiate as a block. Let them say, as the cooperative of fish farmers who have fish cages, together we are advocating for such and such. We want a cold room storage being built by the county government so we can store our fish. In return, we're going to now declare, give us something, we give you something. And then it makes you then be able to show that, okay, as a cooperative, if you tell me you're a cooperative that does milk, we'll give you milk coolers from the ministry. Okay. But now you all have to bring your milk there. Then I'll know how much milk you have, because then you'll have to pay VAT on the milk. But it's okay because you gave me the milk cooler, so I can focus. It's a give and take.
You had said something about investing heavily if you're borrowing money, then at least instead of recurrent expenditure use, then you can go into a lot of production and, viable projects. Using the example of production, I will want to agree with the president when he said it's now high time. Of course, he stopped and, took the latter step that it is high time we stop, subsidizing consumption. And we start subsidizing production. Absolutely. Which is very good. And, because of that, there's some impact in the economy. But the problem with the executive of this government is that they have a lot of implementation gaps in whatever policy they are working towards. When you say we subsidize production, that is very good. But when we subsidize production, are we taking care of the fertilizer cost? Are we taking care of the purchasing power, or rather the cost that any person can buy, the products from the farm? And because that is not well taken care of, we tend to find that the government will still borrow and import more maize from any other country, be it Mexico or Zambia, and bring in more maize simply because the production, the number of bags of maize we produce in the country, or rice, or even, or even because we don't have, edible oil, is on the lower side, and it cannot cater for all the people in the country. So they need to borrow and make sure they cover the deficit of the whatever production of food that it can take care of people, in the country.
It is very interesting. I've never known, but Sheila, when the government is making a budget, how do they actually map out how they budget for stimulation of production? How do they usually look at it?
So they can look at it in two different ways. Either it's in the input way, which is what he was talking about. So they can say, let us invest in, let's say, infrastructure, because we know that we have a corridor all the way from Mombasa to the border past Kisumu, Sindio. We know we have that corridor. So the government can decide and say, you know what, along the corridor, let us invest in infrastructure. Let's say a railway, now SGR, let's get it from Mombasa and take it all the way to Malaba.
Okay.
Why? Because we have to be able to move products, and that helps with production. Or they can equally say, example I was giving you with fish, blue economy is an untapped sector. I come from a blue economy sector. We do not have cold chain logistics. It's not a thing.
What is that?
Cold chain refrigeration, fish factories that are functioning.
But you have a pyre.
Yeah, that doesn't help you with refrigeration. Do you know where fish was always processed? Let me help you. Do you know where you used to process your fish? Because of political reasons. The fish coming from Lake Victoria, historically, was being processed in Thika. All the industries were set up in Thika, right? And of course, because historically speaking, but they were set up there. But how long have we been since history? How many governments have we partnered in? Why was it taking us so long to be able to say, value addition is when you have a raw product and then you finish it to the last bit.
Exactly.
Apple. So even if it's packaging, itafanyu apple. And the reason you insist on having local value addition is because it's a means of employment. Then you set up a factory. So your fish used to come from Lake Victoria. And when it's in Lake Victoria and you fish, see, you want to sell it at per kg 300, but you don't have refrigeration. So me and my truck that is waiting to go to Thika, I just spend the day at the bar, getting a tan, enjoying myself, having good lunch. By 5:30, I tell you, Jagero, do you want to now sell it for 150? Because where are you going to take it? If the fish goes without refrigeration, by the next day, that's it, we're done. So you'll end up giving it to me even for 70 shillings per kilo instead of 300, because the market value is 300. You'll give it to me. Why? Because where are you going to take the fish?
Let us use another example. We've talked about fish. Let us talk about maize, because I know after here you're going to work on some maize before you sleep. Trans Nzoia is one of the leading, counties as far as maize production is concerned. And the way Sheila has explained that they have, access to the blue economy, but value addition is not done in Migori or locally. It's taken somewhere else. And the last election there's a debate about one product, one county. And for me, I was really, advocating for it simply because it could take care of the unemployment issue in each county, because every county has one specific thing that they can work on to help their people at the very local level.
Okay.
So using the example of maize, is that when you grow maize, of course, instead of exporting raw materials, you will have aggregated packs, to process them. You can, get some maize flour, and courtesy of that, you will be creating employment through distribution, packaging, drivers, and whatnot. So I would want to agree with her that, getting every county to work on one product will help, in the debt crisis, because locally, every 47 county will be creating money that will help, do away with the national debt that is really hurting us because we cannot develop. We are not having any development projects, and even if we are having them, it is being financed out of debt.
But now, Sheila, you are going on.
So what I was saying was, so what is one of the ways that when you're doing budgeting, you think about factors of production? One, you might decide that in my budget, the recommended, we are a lower middle income country. So the recommended percentage that you're talking about, how much percentage is being used for recurrent versus development, the recommended percentage of that for Kenya is about 30%. We are at 17%, which means when we get money in, we're not supposed to use it just to pay your salaries and that's it. We're supposed to invest that back. And we take a very small percentage of doing this. So when you budget, you're supposed to say, listen, I want some of it to be development because we want to help with these issues of factors of production. And Jagero, some of it is just as simple as installing electricity. There are some places where you come from where they have never, ever, ever had electricity. When you put electricity, all of a sudden you open up a new economic stream there because Kenyans are very entrepreneurial. If you give us the space and the ability, we are not a lazy population. We will actually work, and that's the sad part. We'll actually work. And so another way you can do it is you review your taxes, right? So with every time you're budgeting, you look at your tax policies. You can say, okay, for example, the government today zero rates certain agricultural inputs, right? They're like seedlings, they zero rate them and say, okay, we're not going to take taxes on that because we need to encourage you to plant, right? Or fingerlings, for example, as zero rated, you don't pay tax on them because they don't want you to have a hard time to be able to buy fingerlings. So see, these are some of the conversations you decide to have. The problem is our budget is very expenditure heavy, so we tend to focus more on what is State House going to get to spend instead of how can we help, the maize farmers so that they can mill locally. And another thing that we have to consider is the government's job for an economy like ours is not supposed to employ you. That's not what they're supposed to do. A government is supposed to act as a conduit. It just sets the environment. An enabler. Yeah. For the private sector to help them to meet the development needs. What does this mean? It means that, for example, in Nyatike, where I come from, we have gold. What is the government's job? The government's job is supposed to be. By the way,
can you contextualize what the gold that you guys?
We have gold.
Can you contextualize it for us? So everybody goes to their own shamba and gets the gold.
Pretty much, it's artisanal mining. You can do that. We have some professional ones, of course, that have big, mining farms. But otherwise, we also just have artisanal miners where you just chimba, then you get the raw, not the refined gold.
People know what gold looks like. Everybody knows what gold looks like.
Of course.
And how do you know that it is in my Nyakrundu? How do you know that?
So there's ways of measuring to see if you have, how much component of it do you have, right?
So you go and employ...
There's technology now that you can use to check how much.
So everybody's looking around their homes to find out if they have gold?
Pretty much. You might just be building and the building you're sitting on is sitting on a very good chunk of precious metal under there. There's
is that
copper.
so?
Yes, there's copper, there's gold. Yes. The issue, like I was saying, was it's not other places that are able to escape the resource curse is because they came together as a community. Instead of you doing your little stuff, they came and then they bargained because the latest equipment are also not owned by my villagers. They're owned by Chinese miners or South African miners. So then they come, they sit in their little corner, especially the Chinese ones, and they do not give back to the community. So you find that those are the places with no roads.
There are Chinese mining gold in Nyatike.
Of course, and sometimes I think it was last year they even polluted the river there like crazy because of the chemicals that they were using, the leaching chemicals that they used.
I saw a blogger, somebody, a social media person going there with a camera.
Yeah. So, but if you bargain, collective bargaining will say, okay, you want to mine the gold, X percentage must be given back. South Africa does that. South Africa will tell you 40% always has to be local. Doesn't matter what you do. Right? But Kenya, it's like we're just, as long as I eat, I get sorted out, me as your MCA, your MP, the rest of you can go and deal with your lives, right?
But Sheila, there are also some gold deposits in Kakamega, and I want to recall that the government last time wanted to come in and try, extract the gold, but the locals refused. So when you say the government should be an enabler, how can they come in and try to get some structure that can help government as a government and also benefit the people in the locality?
That's a good question. One, we have to understand that the level of public mistrust that we have because of the level of corruption it would only make sense that the people of Kakamega would be like, wait a minute. Because they feel like you, whoever it is from the ministry of whatever, have now brought your friends from China who have now paid you, and now you want to give access to their stuff. When I meant the government is an enabler, you can set up cooperatives. Have a cooperative of all the people who own. Then it's collective bargaining. You're not talking to me and then talking to him separately. We come as a block and we say, okay, so we want a percentage. We are giving you zero input, we are giving you access, we want a road, we want a hospital, we want a university here, and you build it. Because they're going to make so much money out of this.
Oh, really?
Yes, but instead, the reason why the people of Kakamega will say no is because you want to buy them out. You just want to tell me, give me 10 million, so give me 10 million, I give you your shamba and you get out. No, then they'll end up making 1 billion out of that shamba of yours. But because they've kept us in so much poverty, I'm thinking short term. I'm thinking the 10 million right now will pay for, my siblings' university, and then they will pay for my hospital bill, and then I'll be done. So the government is supposed to be able to protect and say, it doesn't matter how vulnerable these people are, we are bargaining as a collective. We are being very transparent about what the deals are.
Sheila, why do you think then, people of the internet, we are going to get into calls shortly. You can put for us the number on the screen. People will start calling now to ask Sheila and my friend here questions. But every time I hear an economist and somebody who is in economics, these questions, but it looks like they're making sense, but the government is really not interested in. So then the question to the politicians is that, do they really want the country to improve, or they just want to cut away what they can for the 5 years and go away?
I think I would challenge you to do a sample study. Find a few MPs from a few places. Try to engage them in this conversation we're having now and see what you'll come up with. And if they are capable of having it, or if they are thinking this way, or try to just get a sense. Because it reflects to... The leaders we have today are a reflection of who we are. Yeah. I don't like just blaming them because they didn't wake up one morning and show up and say, I've elected myself as your women representative. That's not true. They are a reflection of who we are. They are a reflection of this toxic cycle of politics where I want to come to you, I give you 1,000, you vote for me, and guess what? I need to recover my 1,000 plus interest when I get into the office. Right? So, of course, I bring Chinese people to Kakamega and I pocket it, and I don't care what happens to you and your family afterwards. So they are also a reflection of who we are as a people. And that's why I always say the buck stops with us. We have to now, it's 2027, we are looking in the mirror. And we have to be able to say, okay, now what do we want as a population? Some of this, I will give you just a basic example. Every member of parliament every year needs to vote for the finance bill.
Needs?
They have to vote for your finance bill, Sindio, because representation, they represent you. Yeah. So like now we have a finance bill coming up, your local MP will be going into parliament and they will be debating and then they will vote for the finance bill. Have you followed that debate? Like the last year, did you follow the debate just to check, like, what is your representative, your MP or whatever, what are they saying about this, even when they're asking questions? Because in our case, we had someone who, I think it was Ndindi Njoro was challenging our debt, and he was complaining. So he compounded the debt that we have annually and broke it down into how much per day we are borrowing, right? Which just to give you a sense of, in 1 hour, we have now borrowed this amount. And you had, for example, our incumbent women rep who went in and was so confused and answered Ndindi Njoro with the most... It was clear she does not understand how debt works, and just she has to vote on it. And I think that's very, very scary. I think people need to go back and read the job description of the positions that they want. You need to go back and say, what is a senator's job, right? And then what is an MP's job? And then we elect them that way. But this can only be done by these youth. They are the ones who will have the time and the patience.
People of the internet, we are now ready to get your questions and phone calls and opinions on what we are having right now. The number is on the screen, and we will be taking your shots just about now for another 10 minutes or so. There is something that you wanted to say.
Yes, you had asked about, do the parliamentarians, those in leadership care about how we are going or moving on as a country? Yes, some do, some don't, and they only think about themselves. But be that as it may, That is the reason why we usually have plans. Nairobi County has a plan. In the next 20 years, how will Nairobi look like in terms of infrastructural development, road networks? How will Kenya look like when it comes to Vision 2030? And that's why we have plans. And when we have plans, the thing is we need those who will be coming to replace.
Yeah, there is a caller on the line. I'm not sure whether you can listen to us. Hello, how are you?
Yes, Mr. Jagero. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I think we are not getting him properly.
It's me, Njenga. It's me, Njenga Njogu from Dubai.
Yes.
And first of all, today I want to congratulate you.
Congratulate me for what?
Bringing Sheila Olang.
Thank you.
There's a problem with the.
Hello, do you hear me?
I can't hear you. There is a lot of feedback coming from my end. I don't know why.
Hello. Please hear me, please.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Don't give up on me.
Yeah. For me, I just want to say today you have done the best thing you have ever done in this podcast.
Yes, go ahead.
By bringing Sheila Olang, I think Nyamigori is one of the finest, huh?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. What is your name?
The Princess of Nyatike. My name is Njenga Njogu from Dubai. I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people have been making so much noise that I need to bring Sheila Olang to the show, and today she has not let us articulate.
Exactly. People like Sheila Olang, people like Kwame Owino, those are the people that we want to hear. And people like, there is another lady, I forget her name.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that, like people like Sheila, there are people that we should push to go to the parliament because they know, they speak sense. Even when they are talking, you hear they speak sense. You understand?
She's starting.
And I really. No, yeah, exactly. We don't want the twerkers. These people who go there and twerk, and they cannot even represent what they are being chosen for. They are being chosen, go there to choose to represent women. But even now we have a problem with the 2/3 majority in the parliament and in our government system. You understand?
Right.
And those are the things that they are supposed to go and stand for. But you see, like they are jokers. They don't even know what to do. And I agree with her, the statement that she's giving in the last statement, that we should elect members of parliament based on their job description. And the job description of our parliamentarians, like the MPs and the senators, is 3 things. So for me, I get bitter when I see that in the ratings, you are rating a member of parliament because of how he used the CDF. No, that is not the right thing, because that is not in his jurisdiction. It is not there in the constitution. What I say is that the MPs should be categorized in 3 categories. You understand? Yeah. We should have who is the best in representation, this person. Who is the best in legislation? How many bills has he brought? What has he done? And who is the best in oversight? And then we rate them in those lines. But not that like who has built a lot of schools. No, that is not their job description. It's like rating a teacher for selling mandazi in a school. That you say this is the best teacher because she has sold a lot of mandazi in our school. Is that her job? Rate her according to her subject. Okay. Rate her according to the subject that she taught. How is the subject performing? You get me?
Okay.
And I think now we should get into a sense to get this member of parliament. I know you have a lot of callers, but for me, I want to say thank you. Right. And please bring a lot of these people. Don't bring people like Owidi who are A-class. They don't know what, they don't have facts. They don't have facts. If you put, I'm telling you, if you put Owidi with this lady, my friend, Owidi will look like someone who is very clueless, my friend. Huh?
Thank you.
And so the other day heckling there. For the fact, and he's the what? Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
So remember when we were saying that maybe my demeanor or my brand, somebody is attracted to. Some voters.
So some people know. Hello, how are you doing? Different. Hello. We can't hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, there we go. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Mazula and I'm calling from college again.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing we're pinched as ever as all Kenyans, and I'm so happy that you brought Sheila here, and
Okay,
I'm happy
a lot of people have been
for
looking forward.
Yeah, man. I would Sheila.
Our topic for today.
I'm loving your topic for today, really. But my question is to the people like Sheila and all the millennials and Gen Zs who really know the Constitution and really know about the law.
Yeah.
Why are we allowing the politicians to do what they do?
Okay.
And we know the law doesn't allow them to do.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And Sheila.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. How are you? What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Alison Otieno, as always, from Juja.
You're calling from Juja. How is Juja? And
Yes.
what do you have to say about today's topic?
Yeah, at least the strike is off. Now we have matatus going around. I am calling first to say thank you for today it's like a breath of fresh air in the show today.
Okay.
I want to, and I want to agree with Sheila on the kind of politics we have in Kenya. You see this issue about politicians attacking each other, mentioning private parts and all. I don't know how campaigns are in other parts of Kenya, but for us who come from Nyanza, it is so rampant. I was so shocked when I was home the previous election, and you find that.
Okay. What happened? Are you still there with us? Am I hearing her from here? Because I think I can. Hello? I can actually hear her from here, but I don't know. I'm sorry, but we lost her for some reason. But there is a question that she was asking.
Yeah, I think
right?
she's asked her a good question that.
So 2 questions. The gentleman from Kwale, is it?
Yeah, from Kwale. Yeah, I think, of course, first, thank you for. It's always nice when I hear that I'm not crazy. But, there's some people who are listening and they're like, this is just fine.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate the feedback. It keeps me going. Now, they said, why are we allowing them? We apologize that we ever did, and we're going to do something about it. I think the religion we are preaching right now is not anymore. Not anymore. So by 2027, we are going to stop allowing them. We've realized we were never politically active, and they just got to kind of do what they want, and now that stops. And that's why people like me are motivated to run for office. Not that I would ever know what that means, but I'm having a good time doing it because it's time for change, and the revolution is here, and there's nothing much we can do about it. Then Millicent from Juja, I think she comes from the Luo side of things, which we are very well known to have that kind of vulgarity. And I want to agree with her that it's just time for politics to change and give us the substance. People are sick and tired of the pretty ones, or the ones who dance the most, or the ones that, or the one who, some people call themselves, I'm the moneyed one. Men lead with I have more choppers, or I have more V8s, whatever it is that men. And people just want to know, how are you going to help me pay school fees? Or how are you going to help me be able to, access income so I can be able to take care of my family?
And there's one caller who was asked, if we were to remove or put aside the city of funds, what will be the score of the parliamentarians we have today?
Yeah.
Will it be, average or below average?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you doing? What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm called Amos Odiaga. I'm calling.
Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Narok.
You're calling from Narok. Okay, what's your question or opinion that you have on today's topic?
My opinion on today's topic, I am not, in terms of progression,
we can hear you either you are calling us on loudspeaker, or we can also hear feedback from the device that you are listening to us from.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, but very faintly.
Hello?
Sheila, can you hear him?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
According to transition, we don't mind. I especially don't mind it at all. But the problem is what are we are tasked that it is the politicians who use it in opulence.
Okay.
And we don't see the value of our money. So that is the problem that we have in Kenya, and I think that is the Kenyan problem.
I couldn't hear what he was saying. Did you hear?
It's alluding to a problem that we're having, but I couldn't quite catch
Yeah,
it.
the lady is back. The lady from Twitter is back. Hello?
Hi.
Hello. Okay, yeah, I'm back now.
Welcome back.
Okay, thank you. So the point I was trying to put across is how shocked I am at the kind of, you know how when you want to vie for a seat, unauza sera, this is what I'm going to do to you. Like, in Nyanza, they sit down with women and you hear them say things like, and women are laughing. You see, it is always sexualizing the voters. They are happy about it. And then suddenly we want to turn around and be mad that the politicians we hold in high esteem are now fighting each other and attacking each other sexually. And yet, that is what they bring to us. And we vote for them on that. We never even ask them, what about hospitals, roads, and what? The songs are sexualized, women are twerking. It is our fault. And I agree with Sheila when she says the religion we're speaking right now is never again. And I hope the youth are listening, and we cannot sweep them away all at once, but at least let's sweep even 50% will shake this thing.
I agree with
All right. Thank you very much. What is she saying? That she's going to give you...
Hello? Hi.
Yes, we can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, Jagero, my name is Timothy. I'm calling you from Kikuyu.
You're calling us from Kikuyu. How is it? Is it chilly?
Yes, a little bit chilly, but the weather is pretty much okay. We are used to this.
No worries. What do you have to say for today's topic, sir?
One, I want to appreciate the panel again.
Okay.
Sheila and the gentleman, this is a very good panel. Keep it up.
Okay.
I concur with the guy from Dubai who says, the type of kinawidi, these guys are just messing up your channel. Please fix that. Secondly, I know today the question was
don't admit that the media is like a market.
No, you're the captain. You're the captain. You have to steer your ship well, and these guys are just messing you up. But anyway,
it's my market.
Yes, you steer it up. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. My input. One of the challenges I have with this government is we don't have a challenge with paying taxes, like Sheila said. We can pay as much as up to 50%, but we need to see where the money is going. But when you see that the government is spending our money haphazardly on projects that don't even make sense, who needs projects when we can't put money on the table? You know, these are some of the challenges we need. And as Sheila said, the challenge we have is not with the actually the main challenge is not even with the executive, it's with parliament. Parliamentarians don't know what they are doing. So we need to start from the grassroots, and we are sending Sheila to go and do proper mobilization, proper civic education on the ground, and ensure that we have people voting for the right thing, and also air this in your channel and ensure that the people are well educated on this.
All right, thank you very much.
We are going to drain the swamp.
Sheila, what do you think about the idea of who should we bring to the podcast?
Why, you're the owner of the market, Tagero. We come here for a long time and you never invited me. Now everyone is saying it's good.
Yeah, it's... Well, I don't know, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, very few women agree to come to podcasts. I don't know whether it is just the fear overall of, okay, what am I going to say there? The channel is watched by almost, 86% men. It's a... Hello? We're going to get to that conversation. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, my name is Kofi.
Yes, Kofi.
I'm calling from Kasarani.
You are calling from Kasarani. Very good. Mada ya leo unasemaje?
Mada ya leo kwanza, I'd like to congratulate you for avoiding pillars like Odoyo in the show.
Okay.
And then the next thing I want to say is that I'm happy with the kind of discussion today.
Okay.
And I hope that leaders like Sheila can rise to positions of leadership and that we get rid of Oyundi in the world.
Putting me in trouble.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Asante sana. There is a gentleman that has been calling here, but every time I'm trying to get his call, it goes. I don't know why. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, my name is Mark Muima.
Okay.
And I'm calling you from Nairobi, Kasarani as well.
All right, great. Watu wa Kasarani mkoje?
Watu wa Kasarani wanasema jagero tano tena.
Jagero.
Jagero tano tena.
Okay, that is
so now. Now, hii kitu ya Orengo and Wanga, you know, is not new in Kenya. Not new. Once politicians wameenda wamegwarana huko, then they come and bundle us and take us to the street ati our guy.
Hey.
Our guy vitu gani? Those people know themselves. Wamekaa pamoja, so they usually say that chura kikuja kwambie mamba ni mgonjwa utapingana na chura. Sababu wewe uishi kwa maji, huwezi jua hali ya haujui hali ya mamba venye iko. Yes, so whatever they are squabbling about, we don't care because and it's not the first time. The other time we had when Uhuru had been abused by one of our leaders whom I will not mention, our guys. So we are trying to move forward. But you saw how there were tons of women and mothers who went on the street to cry, oh, you cannot abuse our president, you cannot do that. So these are things that we are used to hearing.
All right, asante sana. And we have to take another caller because there are so many calls coming in. There is a gentleman that is having an Arsenal jersey. He's been calling.
They won the league yesterday.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm just calling from Nairobi.
You're calling from?
Nairobi.
I didn't hear that.
Is it Arusha or Nanyuki?
You're calling from Arusha?
Hello?
Nairobi, okay. All right. What do you have to say today?
The issue between Orengo and Wanga is very unfortunate.
We can't hear. I can hear. I have to pick another call. Maybe we'll get to him. There is another caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Where are you calling us from and what's your name?
My name is Daniel.
Okay.
I'm calling from my house here in Nairobi.
From your house here in Nairobi?
Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, hi, Daniel.
Yes. My question is this.
Okay.
We are talking about debts and everything. Debt as a way of producing. I'm asking, why is the interest rate never mentioned when we're talking about productivity? If we want to compare, for example, Kenya with Singapore.
Okay. I imagine that Sheila will answer that question. Thank you very much. Sheila, you've got a question to answer. There's a gentleman that has been calling here.
Maybe in the meantime, I can try and answer
yes,
that.
Please do.
So interest rates, I think that's a very valid question. I can look at it both domestically and when we talk about debt, the fact that we're borrowing and at what rates are we borrowing at, right? So interest rates are typically sent, if we look at locally, there's a big issue which I think Daniel is alluding to, which is the fact that it's a central bank that typically sets the interest rate.
Yes.
What has happened is when you talk about debt and borrowing, for the first time, the government is borrowing a lot domestically. When you borrow a lot domestically, it means that you who wanted to start a business, the banks are less likely to give it to me as an individual, and they'll prefer to give it
Yes,
to...
yes, yes. Hello, how are you? Just a minute. Hello?
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. There, Sheila is answering a question. Just be on hold and then we'll talk to you. Just listen in with us. Yes, Sheila, go ahead.
No, as I was saying is that you have to have access to credit in order to grow business. It's one of those things, access to capital, right? So one of the ways that during the Kibaki regime, they were able to grow the economy quite easily is that there was ready, free access to capital. I mean, I remember people telling stories about how you could even go, there was an agent from Equity in your local market telling you, do you want 5,000 to restock your bananas?
To take the loan.
Yes, so that you can take it because they were hawking around.
Where did the Equity go to?
Yes, now it's more interesting for Equity to loan money to the government because it's a much better credit because the government, you're sure it will pay you back. You're sure it's not going to default. You're sure. And so we are competing with a big giant called the government for the same access to the same capital. This is one of the reasons that is driving down SMEs or the growth of ingenuity, because you have to let people be able to borrow so that the small ideas they have or the small stocks they have, they can do it. What that also means is that you are leaving the citizens prey to predatory lending. Remember when they used to borrow and then we all get messages that Jagero has refused to pay back 2,000 from and all your contacts get messages. That's predatory lending, right? So it is true that we need to look at interest rates, but interest rates are calculated in many different forms and many different shapes, but yes, it does affect access to capital.
Okay.
That's a good point that we forgot in the discussion. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you very much. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, you have been listening in. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm called Alo Gongo.
Yes, hello Gongo. How are you doing?
Hello.
Say hi to Sheila.
Yes, Sheila amesalimika kabisa. Swali ni gani ama?
Nimefurahia kumwona kwa show. I'm calling from Migori Riri constituency.
Kwa Sheila kwenyewe.
Hiyo ni kura yangu inaongea. That's my person.
Kwa Sheila kwenyewe sasa.
Yes.
First of all, talking about the criticisms that have been going between Wanga and Orengo.
Yes.
I think this is something that we should not engage in too much. These are things that have been happening because when we blame Orengo, we should blame Wanga as well because these people are ones that should be respectful to each other.
Okay, correct.
I'm happy that I've never heard of Sheila talking badly or having some abusive terms to other politicians, although she's also an aspirant in Migori County.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what we are saying as Jomigorians is that we just want a change as youth.
Okay.
And the kind of brain Sheila is having, I'm very sure when implemented, in our country, we will go far instead of when we tukipima na kucheza ohangla.
Yes.
In our country, we just dancing here and there. Tuko naenda.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, hello.
Looks like you're already getting the seat.
I'm getting votes.
Hey, she's getting votes there, my man.
Thank you, Jagero, for campaign.
Yeah, there's somebody that has been... Hello?
Hello.
Hello, what's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is James.
Okay, James.
Yeah, I'm calling from Virginia.
From?
Virginia.
Okay.
In the US.
From the US.
Okay.
I just want to say I like your show.
All right.
Yeah, and I appreciate it reaching us very well.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for inviting Sheila.
Okay.
We appreciate, and also the other gentleman for coming over.
Thank you very much. What do you think about our
Just a
country
week-
from the US? What do you think about our country? Are you excited about? Are you embarrassed? What's going on here?
Actually, I'm frustrated. I'm very, very frustrated. If I was there, I would be in Mandafur tomorrow.
Okay.
But what I want to say,
All right.
if the youth unite with one voice and one purpose, I think Kenya can truly be born again.
All right.
Yeah, but let's keep on pushing.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, that is these people are calling around 100 people at the same time, so we really can't keep up with a lot of these. The comment section has got a lot of comments, and sometimes it's very difficult to read because they are talking to each other. There is a town hall there going on.
Apparently.
So people of the internet, thank you very much for this wonderful show. We started at 7:30 and now it is 21:42. That is almost two and a half hours later. We want to appreciate you very, very much for joining us today. My good man, thank you very much.
Asante sana.
I hope it was not baptism by fire.
It was very much enjoyable.
Yeah.
And this is the discussion we look forward into as we build a better country.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Sheila, a lot of people have always asked, every time we go to the comment section, they're telling me, you got to get Sheila to come here and talk to us about what is going on in our country. And today you have decided to come. We thank you very much. There are so many messages, even on our WhatsApp. Jagero, please convey my warm greetings to our eloquent woman representative to be. People of Migori are proud and optimistic to have a leader of our caliber, and we look forward to her serving as a governor in 2032 after her first term as a woman representative.
Syllabus is going nayo. I love it.
Yeah, people. There are so many messages here that I cannot read because of time. But I want to thank you. Thank you very much for coming to the show. I hope that you will come. You see, Center, it's very cool.
No, it's very cool. I actually enjoyed it, and I'm a huge geek when it comes to the economy. So I actually really enjoy these conversations.
Yeah.
It's not the drama or the aura, but I think there's an audience that is appreciating a bit more issue-based political approach.
And those are the audiences that will always, still into the voting station and vote for the person they want. I want to thank John Tess on the deck. I want to thank our researcher. She at some point she went away. I don't know what happened. Vashed, you are still mourning. I mean, she was a Matiangi person, but now she's very disillusioned and she doesn't want to talk about Matiangi. But she's the one who does all the research. She's the one who comes up with all the cuttings.
Oh, nice.
Obunga, thank you very much. Obunga is on the camera today. He's not on the deck today. Most people always just know that Obunga is the one that is. We also have our hospitality lady, the one that gives us tea at Tieno, and logistics done by a Chiang. So it's been a beautiful one. But the people of the star of the show is always the audience, the people that gather around
the internet,
the fireplace, and they talk to us and they tell us what we need to do. The guests that we have to bring, the callers, and everybody. Thank you very much. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and hit on that notification bell so that when we have another conversation as beautiful as this one with Sheila, you'll be the first person to be notified. We are all over social media. Please follow us there too. If you want to be a guest here, you can always reach out to us on the WhatsApp number that people are calling us through. Until another episode, people of the internet, bye and good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
HustlesAfrica.com, a guide to high-paying online jobs. At HustlesAfrica.com, you will discover the jobs people are doing from home, the platforms where opportunities are found, the skills that open doors, and the practical steps to begin earning. Go to HustlesAfrica.com today.